The day has finally come. Here we finally get to the news of the first official spot-based, yes, 100% spot-based XRP ETF launch. In fact, we already have it. Let's be honest, we weren't really expecting much from the price action right away, which is something I also talked about in yesterday's video. Listen, we might get a nice little spike here or something like that, he said. I don't think this will push the price of a single cent of XRP to some crazy level or anything like that. But what I'm really interested in is XRP squeezing in the small wedge. This could lead to a retest of the highs from the end of October, which were around 270, and then the actual start of flipping some key levels to target some of the previous highs. But once more, I would say that the price movement right now is pretty calm. There hasn't been any really crazy price action, but I do want to talk about a few things that are going on with this ETF and give you my thoughts on what will happen next. Let's start by looking at how people felt before today's launch. In terms of price action, they were pretty scared. We have from Cointelegraph over here, recently traders have become nervous about crypto, and XRP has twice as many negative comments as positive ones. A lot of the time, negative mood means that people are giving up before rallies. In order to quickly look at this, let me open it in a new tab. Let me just zoom out a bit so you can see where these are going in the bottom right corner. I know it's a little hard to see. So on the bottom right, there are twice as many bearish comments about XRP as optimistic ones. Then there are an equal number of positive and bearish comments in the red Bitcoin area. Then, of course, Ethereum has over 50% more comments that are bullish than negative. So the mood around XRP right now is very negative. It doesn't really make sense at this point. Anyway, I'm okay with this because once more, we just got the official first news that a spot-based XRP ETF will be going live. At this point, when the price chart is pressing in this wedge, we might be able to break out. If people are negatively impacted by XRP right now, the price action could really punish them. On top of that, today was a big day because I've learned over the last few days that more and more people are having their money frozen on exchanges like Maxi. There are a lot of problems with this in the crypto space. Not all of the rules about these transfers are in place yet. Things are very bad. Because of this, I've always said that cold storage could be a good way to keep your crypto safe. It does not matter where you hold it. On these trades, you should never hold it. I will say that Trust Capital does offer a premium custody account that gives you custody at the level of an organization. This business is based in the US and offers live customer help and support. This site has a closed loop system that is very safe and has low fees. You can buy and sell crypto 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Another thing we can see is that iTrust Capital does give you everything you could need when you buy, sell, or hold crypto on their website. You can use the link I put in the description below to sign up for a paid custody account right now if you want to. $100 is added to your deposit when you make a deposit of $1,000. Now that we've said that, let's watch the movie again. This message comes from the White House. We're back again, which is what the White House says. The crazy thing about this is that it comes from the White House account. You might be wondering what they're talking about. We just got some important new information about the shutdown. There is no longer any more. The Democrats shut down the government, but President Trump signed a bill to officially restart it. Let's get the country back to work. And here is the quick report. After everything I've said, I want to tell you that the country has never been stronger. They caused this short-term mess with the Democrats because they thought it would be good for politics. And now it's an honor to sign this great bill and get our country back to work. Thanks. That's it, right? On top of the first official spot-based XRP ETF, there is the official bill that shut down the government that was signed. It's just a very bullish time in general. But I did see another post from Cointelegraph, which I find strange because they have been writing a lot about this ETF and how great they think XRP is. And we all know that Cointelegraph is one of those news outlets that has always been pretty negative about XRP and didn't really back it either. It really surprises me that they are now becoming positive on XRP. But now we have NASDAQ has given the go-ahead for Canary Capital's XRP ETF listing XRPC to go live tomorrow at the start of the market. Oh yeah, it is now fully live. That's what we'll talk about next. But then we got this post from Cointelegraph, which gave us more information about how the distribution part of XRP might be ending. They say the bull case is over. Cycle top goals are still $10 to $30, and a possible US spot XRP ETF could be a big help. To say it again, this is not the end of the bull case. To be honest, it looks like we're still at the beginning. What do you think the price range for XRP is? It doesn't really matter, right? I still think it's possible to hit $7 to $10. I've already talked about it more than once. It's my guess for the price. Obviously, it's just a guess. It's not advice about money. But what we really want is some kind of big push on XRP to get above that 384 psychological level. After that, we can easily aim for prices between $7 and $10 if we go into price discovery. There are a lot of people who have said $10 to $20 or even more. We don't know, do we? And I feel like these crazy price predictions are made almost every cycle, and not just about XRP, right? People were asking for a $20 to $30 XRP back in 2021, but it never came about. There were also calls for a Bitcoin worth more than $200,000, but it never came about. Before this period, Bitcoin worth $100,000 had never happened. Then there was Ethereum, $10,000 never happened. We do things one step at a time here. We just get a sense of how people feel when they are feeling happy. Usually it means you should lower your risk, but right now I'm just looking at XRP breaking back to its previous highs. There's nothing I want to say about that. Where do I think XRP can go before we start to break through these key highs? That being said, we did get the official word that it has started trade. Of course, this happened at 9:30 a.m. when the market was open. So far, let me quickly go over this again. This is from the web page for Canary Capital. The whole ETF could be seen broken down, but there are already over 223.7 million XRP in circulation, which is equal to $5.2 million. This is pretty crazy to see. And this one is from Chad Steingraber. Once more, we have the first 30 minutes. Over 916,000 things are done by XRPC every second. Also, this is just the number of shares, nearly 1 million per hour. We are looking at 5.9 million in volume if it stays the same. Oh, yeah. This has been very, very strong to watch so far. Just keep up with it. Also, this is a great way to start the public launch of an ETF. We also heard from Eric Balcones. For those of you who don't know, that's the top ETF analyst for Bloomberg. There is still time for the XRP Day 1 volume estimates. I'm going with $17.1 million. What do you have? The winner gets pride and retweets. We also got a report from Nick Jarosh, who said that the Canary XRP ETF XRPC was going live today. Yeah, I mean, listen, if we're talking about $17 million, we're already at $5.2 million, which is pretty crazy. We still have a long day ahead of us. I think we'd have no trouble going over 17 million. The market value alone makes me think we could make more than $20 million today, but that's already a great start. Also, this is only the beginning. Don't forget that this is the first legal ETF that is based on spot prices. There are a lot more people waiting for us. It's crazy that Bitcoin.com wrote a story about this, calling it the start of the XRP ETF era as Canary's XRPC enters the final countdown to NASDAQ. Also, yes, we are now living in the XRP ETF age. It is now official. Here are some times to keep an eye on for the XRP ECF launch on November 13th. As shown by the fact that Canary went live today, Franklin Templeton's will be from November 14th to November 18th. By the way, I'm really looking forward to seeing if that gets accepted. Then there was Bitwise. Bitwise has been very positive about XRP lately. We also talked about it yesterday. Oh, I'm really looking forward to that one because Bitwise and Franklin Templeton are both big names. The biggest names are the ones I'm really looking at here. To be clear, I'm not saying that Canary Capital is a small name. They're just not as well known as some of these other big players. As a result, I'm checking to see how Franklin Templeton and Bitwise compare to Canary. This is because I believe that Canary will do very well today as the day ends. I believe that seeing that will give us an idea of how big this ETF will be for the other bigger names as well. Think about BlackRock or Fidelity putting out a new PETF. Let's say Canary Capital makes 20 million on the first day. Those big names could easily make twice that much because of how well known they are. On the other hand, I think Franklin Templeton and Bitwise will do really well. Then there's November 20th through the 22nd, which is 21 shares and coin shares. Then we have Grayscale and Wisdom Tree at the end of the month. By the way, Grayscale and Wisdom Tree are also pretty well-known names. Again, we're looking at this and thinking that the time for XRP ETFs has come. After being set on fire, I don't think it will slow down at all. There is also Wall Street's $1.5 trillion bet on XRP, since all of these names handle assets worth more than $1.5 trillion. Okay, this is pretty cool stuff. Last but not least, I want to go back to Bitwise because CoinDesk shared a great video clip. It was yesterday. We think that an XRP ETF would be a huge product that would reach the $100 trillion trading market. Hunter Horsley, CEO of Bitwise Invest, told us at Ripple Swell that his words are right on time. Canary Fund's XRP Trust, the first ever US spot XRP ETF, might go live as early as tomorrow, as long as NASDAQ approves it. Yes, it's already live. Still, check it out. A lot of people are interested in XRP. As you may know, our CIO, Matt Hogan, likes to say that apathy is what kills an ETF. And lack of interest is not at all a part of XRP. Lots of people are interested, excited, and full of energy. I believe there are more than $100 trillion that live on standard rails. Oh, and that's moving on chain more and more. That being said, there is $100 trillion there. A lot of those assets can get exposure to an asset for the first time through an ETF. If they have the O,